The following report documents our first systematic observation of the species designated as humans and their primitive yet perplexing military technology. What began as routine reconnaissance of a backwater system has evolved into a matter requiring immediate attention from the highest levels of military command. Dr. Kelthorne, senior military analyst of the Vorthak Intelligence Corps, initiated this study following our standard protocol for evaluating potential threats in newly discovered systems. The human homeworld, designated Terra 3 in our stellar cartography, appeared to present minimal strategic concern. Initial orbital scans revealed a technologically primitive civilization still dependent on chemical propulsion and kinetic weaponry. By all established metrics, these beings should have posed no more challenge to our forces than the countless other pre-spaceflight species we have encountered throughout our expansion campaigns. Our first direct observation occurred during what humans term a military exercise conducted at a facility they call Fort Braxton. Commander Nexara, leading a cloaked reconnaissance team, positioned our observation post approximately 2,000 meters from the human training grounds. The initial assessment proved reassuring in its confirmation of human technological inferiority. Their soldiers, if such a term can be applied to beings so diminutive in stature, carried what appeared to be crude projectile weapons constructed from primitive metal alloys. The weapons themselves defied logical military engineering principles. Where proper military equipment should demonstrate power through impressive size and visible energy discharge, human armaments appeared almost comically undersized. Their primary infantry weapon, which they designate as an M4 carbine, measures a mere 838 millimeters in length and weighs approximately 2.88 kilograms when loaded with ammunition. For comparison, a standard Vorthak plasma rifle extends 1,847 millimeters and weighs 14.7 kilograms, properly reflecting the devastating power contained within its energy cells. Professor Veltrix, our leading expert in comparative military technology, initially dismissed these human devices as ceremonial implements rather than functional weapons. Her preliminary report noted that the apparent fragility of human construction suggested these items served primarily symbolic purposes, perhaps representing some primitive cultural attachment to obsolete hunting tools from their pre-civilization era. The complete absence of visible energy sources, power cells, or plasma conduits reinforced this assessment. Our observation team documented extensive human training procedures involving these questionable implements. Sergeant Ethan Walsh, identified as a senior instructor, demonstrated what humans call marksmanship to a group of junior personnel. The exercise involved directing projectiles towards stationary targets positioned at various distances. The methodology struck our analysts as fundamentally flawed. Rather than overwhelming their targets with sustained energy barrages, humans appeared to focus on delivering individual projectiles with what they termed precision. The projectiles themselves presented another source of confusion. Human ammunition consists of small metallic cylinders, typically measuring between 5.56 and 7.62 millimeters in diameter. These bullets, as humans designate them, contain no visible energy source, no plasma charge, and no molecular disintegration capability. Chemical analysis revealed they consist primarily of lead cores surrounded by copper jackets, materials so primitive that most civilized species abandoned their use millennia ago. The propulsion system relies on controlled chemical explosions rather than proper energy discharge, a technique our military historians associate with the earliest stages of technological development. Dr. Fletnor, our specialist in combat physics, calculated that these projectiles should possess insufficient kinetic energy to penetrate even the lightest defensive materials. His initial model suggested that Vorthak's standard-issue body armor would render human weapons completely ineffective. The mathematical projections indicated that human projectiles would simply bounce harmlessly off our defensive systems, potentially causing minor surface scratches at worst. During the observation period, we witnessed what humans call live fire exercises. Private Danny Foster, a human soldier of apparently average capability, engaged targets at distances exceeding 300 meters using one of their diminutive weapons. The results initially appeared to support our assessment of human technological limitations. The projectiles produced no visible energy discharge, no plasma trail, and no molecular disruption field. Instead, they simply traveled through the atmosphere in ballistic arcs, following predictable gravitational trajectories. However, certain anomalous observations began to accumulate in our data. When human projectiles struck their intended targets, the results exceeded theoretical predictions. Metallic targets showed clean penetration holes rather than the surface scoring expected from such primitive kinetic impacts. Organic targets, specifically the ballistic gelatin humans use to simulate biological tissue, demonstrated catastrophic damage patterns that seemed inconsistent with the modest energy levels we had calculated. Lieutenant Fiona Gray, observing from an adjacent training station, provided additional data points that complicated our analysis. Her weapon, designated as an M249 squad automatic weapon, delivered projectiles at a rate approaching 850 rounds per minute. While this firing rate seemed impressive for chemical propulsion technology, the cumulative effect on target materials proved unexpectedly devastating. Solid barriers that should have easily withstood such primitive impacts showed systematic structural failure under sustained fire. Specialist Wendy Cross demonstrated what humans term precision shooting, using a weapon they call a sniper rifle. This device, despite maintaining the same fundamental design principles as smaller human weapons, achieved target engagement at distances exceeding 800 meters. Our optical analysis confirmed that individual projectiles consistently struck targets smaller than 10 centimeters in diameter, suggesting a level of accuracy that challenged our assumptions about chemical propulsion limitations. The ammunition logistics observed during these exercises raised additional concerns. Humans transported thousands of projectiles in compact containers, with individual soldiers carrying several hundred rounds during standard operations. The production efficiency implied by such abundance suggested manufacturing capabilities far exceeding what orbital scans had indicated. If humans could produce these projectiles in such quantities, their industrial capacity might be significantly underestimated. Captain Greg Stone supervised what humans call combat simulation exercises, where soldiers engaged multiple targets while moving through complex terrain. The speed and efficiency with which humans operated their weapons suggested extensive training and familiarity with these systems. More troubling, the exercises demonstrated that humans could maintain accurate fire while under physical stress, environmental pressure, and tactical time constraints. Our behavioral analysis team, led by Dr. Seltrix, noted peculiar human attitudes toward their weapons. Rather than treating these devices as primitive tools requiring eventual replacement with superior technology, humans displayed what could only be described as reverence for their capabilities. Conversations intercepted during training breaks revealed humans discussing stopping power, penetration capability, and terminal ballistics with the enthusiasm typically reserved for advanced energy weapons. The maintenance procedures humans employed further complicated our assessment. Despite the apparent simplicity of their weapons, humans dedicated considerable time to cleaning, adjusting, and calibrating these devices. The precision required for proper maintenance suggested that human weapons operated within much tighter tolerances than their crude appearance indicated. Components were manufactured to specifications that rivaled those of advanced civilizations, despite relying on primitive materials and construction methods. During one particularly revealing exercise, Corporal Owen Davies engaged targets representing various alien armor configurations that humans had somehow acquired for testing purposes. The results proved deeply unsettling. Materials that should have provided adequate protection against kinetic weapons showed systematic penetration failures when subjected to human projectiles. Even samples of Vorthak auxiliary armor, obtained through unknown means, demonstrated vulnerability to sustained human fire. Observer Thek Vol documented human discussions regarding ammunition selection for different tactical scenarios. Humans possessed multiple projectile variants optimized for specific applications: armor-piercing rounds for hardened targets, hollow-point ammunition for maximum tissue damage, and incendiary projectiles for anti-material purposes. This level of specialization suggested a sophisticated understanding of ballistic physics that contradicted their apparent technological primitiveness. The training scenarios grew increasingly complex as our observation period continued. Humans demonstrated proficiency in urban combat, long-range engagement, rapid target acquisition, and coordinated fire support. Their tactical doctrines integrated these primitive weapons into comprehensive battle strategies that maximized their apparent limitations while exploiting unexpected advantages. Most concerning, humans appeared to possess instinctive understanding of their weapons' capabilities that transcended formal training. Experienced soldiers made rapid adjustments for environmental factors, target movement, and tactical situations with minimal conscious calculation. This intuitive mastery suggested generational familiarity with kinetic weapon systems, implying that human military culture had evolved specifically to optimize the effectiveness of these seemingly primitive tools. Our analysis team attempted to replicate human ammunition using standard Vorthak manufacturing techniques. Despite possessing superior metallurgy and precision engineering capabilities, our reproductions failed to match the performance characteristics of genuine human projectiles. Something in the human manufacturing process, whether intentional design features or accidental optimization through extended development, produced results that our theoretical models could not adequately explain. The implications of these observations demanded immediate escalation to higher command levels. If human weapons possessed capabilities that exceeded our initial assessments, the strategic calculations for this system required comprehensive revision. What appeared to be primitive kinetic technology might represent a deliberately deceptive approach to military engineering, designed to mislead potential adversaries about human combat capabilities. Dr. Kelthorne's preliminary conclusions suggested that human weapons represented either remarkable accidental optimization of primitive technology or sophisticated deliberate deception regarding their true capabilities. The consistent underperformance of our predictive models indicated fundamental gaps in our understanding of kinetic weapon physics as applied by human engineering principles. Footnote 1. Professor Veltrix disputes Dr. Kelthorne's assessment, arguing that human weapons represent evolutionary dead-end technology that humans have simply optimized beyond rational limits. Her competing theory suggests humans developed these systems due to inability to discover proper energy weapons, then compensated through excessive refinement of inferior approaches. Dr. Kelthorne maintains that such optimization levels indicate sophisticated understanding of physics principles that contradict apparent technological primitiveness. The final recommendation of this preliminary assessment called for expanded observation protocols and immediate tactical re-evaluation of human military potential. While these beings appeared technologically inferior by conventional standards, their weapons demonstrated performance characteristics that demanded serious consideration. The possibility that human military doctrine had evolved to maximize the effectiveness of deliberately primitive-appearing technology could not be dismissed without further investigation. What had begun as routine evaluation of a minor species had evolved into recognition that human military capabilities might represent a previously unknown approach to warfare, one that prioritized deception and misdirection over obvious displays of technological superiority. The strategic implications of such an approach, if confirmed, would require fundamental revision of our expansion protocols for this system. The human species, despite their apparent primitiveness, had demonstrated that effective military capability could emerge from unexpected technological approaches, suggesting that our standard evaluation metrics might be inadequate for assessing truly alien military philosophies. Following the preliminary observations documented in Report 2847.3, the Galactic Academic Consortium has initiated comprehensive multidisciplinary analysis of human military technology. What began as routine xenological assessment has evolved into an emergency research priority requiring input from our most distinguished military theorists, physics specialists, and cultural anthropologists. Dr. Grexnell of the Institute for Advanced Warfare Studies published the first comprehensive theoretical framework attempting to explain human weapon capabilities. His groundbreaking paper, Kinetic Supremacy Theory, Human Mastery of Primitive Physics, proposed that humans had achieved unprecedented optimization of basic kinetic principles through millennia of focused development. According to Grexnell's calculations, human projectile weapons represented the theoretical maximum efficiency possible within the constraints of chemical propulsion and metallic projectiles. The mathematical models supporting this theory proved both elegant and disturbing. Grexnell demonstrated that human ammunition achieved near-perfect energy transfer coefficients, with minimal waste heat and maximum kinetic impact. The precision manufacturing tolerances required for such optimization exceeded those employed in most advanced energy weapon systems. Human quality control standards, derived from intercepted manufacturing specifications, surpassed Galactic Consortium military production requirements by significant margins. Professor Veltrix immediately challenged Grexnell's conclusions with her competing accidental excellence hypothesis. Her research suggested that humans had stumbled into effective weapon design through blind evolutionary pressure rather than deliberate engineering sophistication. According to Veltrix's analysis, human military history demonstrated continuous refinement of kinetic weapons over thousands of years, resulting in accidental optimization that humans themselves might not fully understand. Veltrix's supporting evidence included intercepted human historical documents describing weapon development across their civilization's timeline. From primitive stone-throwing implements to modern firearms, humans had maintained consistent focus on projectile accuracy, penetration capability, and manufacturing reliability. This evolutionary approach, Veltrix argued, produced weapons that exceeded theoretical performance limits through accumulated incremental improvements rather than revolutionary technological breakthroughs. The academic debate intensified when Dr. Fletnor published his controversial deception warfare theory, suggesting that human weapons represented deliberate technological misdirection designed to mislead potential enemies. Fletnor's analysis of human military doctrine revealed sophisticated understanding of psychological warfare principles, including the strategic value of appearing technologically inferior while maintaining actual combat superiority. According to Fletnor's research, human military history included numerous examples of forces deliberately adopting primitive-appearing equipment to gain tactical advantages over technologically superior opponents. The consistent pattern suggested that humans had elevated deception to a fundamental military philosophy, designing weapons that maximized enemy underestimation while delivering devastating battlefield performance. Field observations supporting various theoretical frameworks continued accumulating through expanded surveillance operations. Commander Nexara's reconnaissance teams documented human civilian activities involving what appeared to be recreational weapon use. The discovery that ordinary human citizens possessed and regularly operated military-grade kinetic weapons outside formal military contexts proved profoundly unsettling to academic analysts. Analyst Greloth observed human hunting activities, initially interpreted as primitive food-gathering behavior. However, detailed analysis revealed that humans used their kinetic weapons to engage moving targets at extended ranges under challenging environmental conditions. The precision and effectiveness demonstrated during these recreational activities exceeded the combat capabilities of most professional military forces throughout the galaxy. The ammunition expenditure documented during civilian recreational activities proved equally concerning. Individual humans routinely fired hundreds of projectiles during single recreational sessions, suggesting ammunition availability that exceeded military stockpiles of most civilized species. The casual attitude humans displayed towards such massive ammunition consumption implied production capabilities far exceeding initial intelligence estimates. Dr. Veltrix's behavioral analysis team documented human attitudes toward weapon maintenance and modification. Civilian humans invested considerable personal resources in upgrading and customizing their kinetic weapons, treating these devices as precision instruments worthy of continuous refinement. The technical sophistication displayed in human weapon modifications rivaled professional military engineering efforts observed in advanced civilizations. Human gunsmith specialists demonstrated manufacturing capabilities that challenged assumptions about their technological limitations. Using apparently primitive tools and techniques, these craftsmen produced weapon components with tolerances measured in fractions of millimeters. The precision achieved through manual fabrication methods exceeded automated production standards employed by most galactic military suppliers. The cultural significance humans attributed to their weapons provided additional analytical complexity. Intercepted communications revealed that humans viewed kinetic weapons as fundamental elements of personal identity, cultural heritage, and individual capability. This deep psychological integration suggested that human military effectiveness derived from cultural factors extending far beyond simple technological proficiency. Professor Quellian's anthropological research revealed that human societies had evolved complex legal, social, and economic systems centered around kinetic weapon ownership and operation. The sophistication of these cultural frameworks indicated that humans had integrated weapon technology into their civilization's fundamental structure in ways that most species reserved for essential survival tools. The manufacturing infrastructure supporting human weapon production proved equally remarkable upon detailed analysis. Humans had developed industrial capacity capable of producing millions of weapons annually, along with billions of projectiles to supply their extensive civilian and military arsenals. The economic efficiency of this production system exceeded manufacturing capabilities observed in civilizations with far more advanced technology. Quality control standards maintained throughout human weapon manufacturing demonstrated obsessive attention to performance optimization. Statistical analysis of human ammunition revealed consistency tolerances that surpassed requirements for most precision scientific instruments. The dedication of resources necessary to maintain such standards suggested that humans prioritized weapon reliability above virtually all other technological considerations. Human military training programs, observed through extended surveillance, revealed educational systems designed to maximize kinetic weapon effectiveness across entire populations. Military academies, civilian training facilities, and informal educational networks combined to create comprehensive weapon proficiency development that began in childhood and continued throughout adult life. The tactical doctrines humans had developed around their kinetic weapons demonstrated sophisticated understanding of battlefield dynamics that integrated primitive technology with advanced strategic thinking. Human military manuals, obtained through covert intelligence operations, revealed combat philosophies that maximized the advantages of kinetic weapons while minimizing their apparent limitations. Human logistics systems supporting kinetic weapon operations proved remarkably efficient and resilient. Supply chains capable of delivering ammunition and maintenance support across vast distances under adverse conditions exceeded the capabilities of most advanced military organizations. The redundancy and adaptability built into these systems suggested preparation for extended conflicts against technologically superior opponents. The psychological impact of human kinetic weapons on their opponents became apparent through analysis of human military history. Civilizations that had encountered human forces consistently reported demoralization and tactical confusion resulting from the unexpected effectiveness of apparently primitive weapons. The pattern suggested that human military success derived partially from enemy underestimation of kinetic weapon capabilities. Dr. Thecknoll's physics research team attempted to replicate human projectile performance using advanced materials and manufacturing techniques. Despite access to superior metallurgy, precision fabrication equipment, and theoretical knowledge, their reproductions consistently underperformed compared to genuine human ammunition. The failure to match human results using superior technology suggested fundamental gaps in understanding human manufacturing processes. Chemical analysis of human propellants revealed optimization that approached theoretical maximum efficiency for chemical energy release. The precision with which humans had balanced burn rates, pressure curves, and energy output exceeded what most civilizations achieved with far more advanced energy systems. The consistency maintained across billions of manufactured units implied quality control systems of unprecedented sophistication. Ballistic testing of human projectiles demonstrated penetration capabilities that exceeded predictions based on kinetic energy calculations alone. The terminal ballistics achieved by human ammunition suggested additional physical principles that current galactic scientific understanding could not adequately explain. The consistent overperformance indicated systematic optimization beyond conventional kinetic weapon theory. Human weapon reliability standards proved particularly troubling to military analysts. Documented cases of human weapons functioning effectively after exposure to extreme environmental conditions, physical damage, and extended use without maintenance exceeded reliability expectations for most advanced energy weapons. The durability achieved through primitive construction methods challenged fundamental assumptions about technological sophistication requirements. The modular design principles employed in human weapon systems demonstrated engineering sophistication that contradicted their apparent primitiveness. Human weapons incorporated interchangeable components, standardized interfaces, and upgrade pathways that facilitated continuous performance improvement throughout operational lifespans. The systematic approach to modularity rivaled design philosophies employed in the most advanced military systems. Training ammunition expenditure documented at human military facilities suggested preparation for conflicts requiring sustained engagement over extended periods. The quantities of practice ammunition consumed during routine training exceeded combat loadouts maintained by most galactic military forces. The resource dedication implied by such training intensity indicated preparation for warfare on scales that most civilizations considered economically impossible. Footnote 2. Dr. Grexnell strongly disputes Professor Veltrix's accidental excellence theory, arguing that the mathematical precision required for human weapon optimization could not result from random evolutionary processes. His detailed analysis of human manufacturing tolerances demonstrates intentional engineering sophistication that contradicts accidental development. Professor Veltrix maintains that human weapon evolution followed predictable optimization patterns observed in biological systems, with accumulated improvements producing results that exceeded conscious design capabilities. The academic dispute has escalated to formal peer review challenges, with both researchers demanding independent verification of their competing mathematical models. The implications emerging from comprehensive analysis suggested that human kinetic weapons represented either remarkable technological achievement within primitive constraints or sophisticated deception designed to mislead potential adversaries about human military capabilities. Both possibilities required immediate strategic reassessment of human threat potential and appropriate diplomatic approaches for this system. The consistent pattern of human weapon performance exceeding theoretical predictions indicated fundamental limitations in current galactic understanding of kinetic warfare principles. Whether through accidental optimization or deliberate engineering sophistication, humans had achieved military capabilities that demanded serious consideration despite their apparent technological primitiveness. The academic consensus emerging from this expanded analysis recognized that human military potential could not be dismissed based on surface technological assessments. The effectiveness achieved through kinetic weapon systems suggested that humans might represent a unique approach to military development that prioritized practical battlefield performance over impressive technological display. The revelations concerning human military capabilities have precipitated unprecedented crisis management protocols across 17 star systems. What academic researchers initially dismissed as primitive technology has evolved into a threat assessment requiring immediate galactic-scale strategic realignment. The implications of human kinetic weapon mastery now demand coordinated response from the highest levels of inter-system government and military command. Admiral Dexthal of the Combined Fleet Command initiated emergency wargaming scenarios incorporating revised estimates of human combat effectiveness. The simulation results proved catastrophically different from previous projections. Standard Vorthak assault formations, previously considered invincible against primitive kinetic weapons, suffered projected casualty rates exceeding 60% when engaging human defensive positions equipped with their deceptively advanced projectile systems. The wargames revealed fundamental flaws in conventional military doctrine when applied against human kinetic warfare principles. Energy shields designed to deflect plasma weapons and particle beams proved ineffective against solid projectiles traveling at velocities that human weapons routinely achieved. The kinetic energy transfer characteristics of human ammunition bypassed defensive systems that had protected galactic civilizations for millennia. General Vorthak's tactical analysis demonstrated that human weapons possessed inherent advantages that energy-based systems could not match in specific combat scenarios. The instantaneous impact of kinetic projectiles eliminated the brief warning period that energy weapons provided through their visible discharge signatures. Human soldiers could engage targets without revealing their positions through energy emissions that most military detection systems relied upon for threat identification. The logistics advantages of human kinetic systems proved equally troubling to military planners. While energy weapons required complex power generation, cooling systems, and maintenance infrastructure, human weapons operated with minimal support requirements. A human soldier could maintain combat effectiveness for extended periods using only ammunition supplies, while energy weapon operators required constant access to power sources and technical support personnel. Dr. Kelthorne's expanded intelligence analysis revealed that human military doctrine had evolved specifically to exploit these advantages against technologically superior opponents. Historical records obtained through covert surveillance documented numerous conflicts where humans had defeated forces equipped with advanced energy weapons through superior tactics and kinetic weapon effectiveness. The consistent pattern suggested systematic development of anti-energy weapon strategies. The economic implications of human military capabilities triggered emergency sessions within the Galactic Trade Consortium. Market analysts calculated that widespread adoption of human kinetic weapon principles could destabilize established military-industrial complexes throughout civilized space. Manufacturers of energy weapons, defensive systems, and support infrastructure faced potential obsolescence if kinetic weapons proved superior for practical military applications. Commodities markets experienced unprecedented volatility as speculation mounted regarding human industrial capacity. The raw materials required for kinetic weapon production, previously considered economically insignificant, experienced dramatic price fluctuations as various civilizations attempted to stockpile supplies for potential weapon development programs. Copper, lead, and steel futures reached historical maximums within standard cycles of the initial intelligence reports. The spiritual council of ethereal beings convened extraordinary theological sessions to address the philosophical implications of human military philosophy. Their preliminary conclusions suggested that human kinetic weapons represented a fundamental rejection of civilized warfare principles based on energy manipulation and technological superiority. The human approach to combat appeared rooted in primitive physical principles that challenged established understanding of military evolution. Religious scholars debated whether human kinetic mastery represented divine intervention or technological regression that had accidentally achieved superior results. The theological implications proved sufficiently complex to require consultation with the most ancient spiritual authorities, some of whom had observed the development of energy weapons across multiple galactic civilizations over thousands of years. Cultural anthropologists documented the spread of human military philosophy throughout systems that had encountered intelligence reports regarding kinetic weapon effectiveness. Previously peaceful civilizations began investigating primitive manufacturing techniques, while established military powers initiated crash programs to develop kinetic weapon capabilities that could match human performance standards. The University of Centauri's Department of Xenological Studies published emergency research priorities focusing on human cultural factors that might explain their kinetic weapon mastery. Professor Felnix's preliminary analysis suggested that human military effectiveness derived from cultural characteristics that most civilized species had abandoned during their technological development phases. Human attitudes toward individual combat capability, personal weapon ownership, and decentralized military training created societal conditions that maximized kinetic weapon effectiveness across entire populations. Most galactic civilizations had evolved beyond individual weapon proficiency in favor of technological solutions that reduced training requirements and personal skill development. Humans appeared to have maintained primitive cultural practices that accidentally optimized their military potential. The psychological impact of human kinetic weapons on enemy forces became apparent through analysis of first contact scenarios involving various galactic civilizations. Species that encountered human military forces consistently reported demoralization and tactical confusion resulting from the unexpected lethality of apparently primitive weapons. The psychological advantage gained through enemy underestimation provided humans with strategic benefits that complemented their tactical capabilities. Intelligence services throughout the galaxy initiated crash programs to obtain detailed information about human weapon manufacturing processes, training methodologies, and tactical doctrines. The covert operations required to gather such intelligence proved exceptionally challenging due to human security measures that appeared primitive but demonstrated unexpected effectiveness against advanced surveillance techniques. Human counterintelligence capabilities, based on simple but systematic security protocols, successfully detected and neutralized several attempted infiltration operations conducted by species with far more advanced technology. The pattern suggested that humans had developed security methodologies specifically designed to counter technologically superior opponents through low-technology approaches that avoided detection by advanced surveillance systems. Military academies across 17 systems initiated emergency curriculum revisions to address the tactical implications of kinetic weapon warfare. Training programs that had focused exclusively on energy weapon systems for centuries required fundamental restructuring to incorporate defensive measures against solid projectile attacks. The educational challenges proved immense, as most military instructors lacked experience with kinetic warfare principles. The strategic implications of human ammunition production capabilities became apparent through economic intelligence analysis. Human industrial capacity for projectile manufacturing exceeded the combined ammunition production of most galactic military forces by several orders of magnitude. The economic efficiency achieved through mass production techniques suggested preparation for conflicts requiring sustained engagement over extended periods. Research and development programs throughout civilized space began attempting to reverse engineer human kinetic weapon principles using advanced materials and manufacturing techniques. The initial results proved disappointing, as superior technology failed to match the performance characteristics achieved through human manufacturing processes. The consistent failure to improve upon human designs using advanced methods suggested fundamental gaps in understanding kinetic weapon optimization. Metallurgical analysis of human projectiles revealed material science applications that exceeded theoretical predictions for primitive alloy systems. The performance characteristics achieved through apparently simple copper and lead combinations challenged established understanding of material properties under kinetic stress conditions. Human manufacturing processes appeared to optimize material performance through techniques that advanced civilizations had never developed. The quality control standards maintained in human ammunition production demonstrated precision manufacturing capabilities that rivaled the most advanced industrial systems in civilized space. Statistical analysis of human projectile consistency revealed tolerances that exceeded requirements for most scientific instruments. The resource dedication necessary to maintain such standards indicated prioritization of weapon effectiveness above virtually all other technological considerations. Human weapon reliability testing, conducted under extreme environmental conditions, demonstrated durability characteristics that exceeded performance specifications for most advanced energy weapons. The ability of human kinetic systems to function effectively after exposure to conditions that would disable sophisticated energy weapons suggested fundamental advantages in weapon design philosophy that most civilizations had overlooked during their technological development. The modular design principles employed throughout human weapon systems facilitated continuous performance upgrades and battlefield adaptability that energy weapon systems could not match. Human weapons incorporated standardized components and interfaces that allowed rapid modification for specific tactical requirements. The systematic approach to modularity demonstrated engineering sophistication that contradicted surface assessments of human technological primitiveness. Training methodologies employed by human military forces revealed educational systems designed to maximize individual weapon proficiency across entire populations. The decentralized approach to military training created redundant capability development that ensured continued combat effectiveness even after significant personnel losses. Most galactic civilizations had abandoned such labor-intensive training methods in favor of technological solutions that reduced individual skill requirements. Footnote 3. Admiral Dexthul's tactical assessments directly contradict General Vorthak's strategic conclusions regarding human kinetic weapon effectiveness. Dexthul maintains that proper energy weapon deployment can overcome kinetic advantages through superior range and area effect capabilities, while Vorthak insists that human tactical doctrines specifically exploit energy weapon limitations through close-range engagement strategies. The disagreement has escalated to formal military tribunal review, with both commanders demanding independent validation of their competing tactical models through live-fire exercises against captured human weapon systems. The cumulative intelligence regarding human military capabilities indicated that previous threat assessments had fundamentally underestimated their combat potential. The combination of superior kinetic weapon technology, optimized manufacturing capacity, comprehensive training systems, and tactical doctrines specifically designed to counter advanced opponents created military capabilities that demanded immediate strategic recalculation. The possibility that humans represented a deliberate military deception designed to mislead potential adversaries about their true combat capabilities could no longer be dismissed. Whether through accidental optimization or sophisticated engineering, human kinetic weapons had achieved performance levels that challenged the military superiority that advanced civilizations had maintained for millennia. The strategic consensus emerging from comprehensive analysis recognized that human military potential required immediate diplomatic engagement to prevent potential conflicts that could destabilize established galactic power structures. The effectiveness demonstrated by human kinetic warfare principles suggested that traditional military advantages might prove insufficient against opponents who had mastered primitive technology to unprecedented levels. The comprehensive multi-cycle analysis of human military capabilities has reached its definitive conclusion. After extensive field observation, theoretical modeling, cultural assessment, and strategic evaluation, the Galactic Supreme Command hereby issues its final determination regarding the species designated as humans and their revolutionary approach to kinetic warfare technology. Dr. Kelthorne's culminating research, supported by data from 47 independent observation teams across 12 star systems, has established beyond reasonable doubt that human kinetic weapons represent the most sophisticated military technology ever encountered by galactic civilization. The mathematical precision required to achieve the performance characteristics documented in human projectile systems exceeds the engineering capabilities of any known species, including our most advanced technological civilizations. The manufacturing tolerances maintained in human ammunition production demonstrate quality control standards that surpass requirements for quantum computing components and stellar navigation equipment. Individual projectiles manufactured by human industrial systems maintain consistency measurements accurate to fractions of micrometers across billions of units produced annually. The statistical probability of achieving such precision through primitive manufacturing techniques approaches mathematical impossibility. Professor Veltrix's competing analysis, while acknowledging human kinetic weapon superiority, maintains that these capabilities resulted from evolutionary optimization rather than conscious engineering sophistication. Her detailed examination of human weapon development across their recorded history reveals systematic refinement processes that accumulated incremental improvements over thousands of years. According to Veltrix's calculations, human kinetic weapons represent the theoretical maximum performance possible within chemical propulsion constraints. The evolutionary approach suggested by Veltrix's research indicates that humans developed kinetic weapon mastery through survival pressure rather than deliberate technological advancement. Their planet's hostile environment, featuring numerous predatory species and environmental hazards, created evolutionary conditions that rewarded precision projectile capability. Humans who could accurately deliver kinetic projectiles possessed survival advantages that shaped their entire species development. Dr. Fletnor's alternative interpretation proposes that human kinetic weapons represent deliberate technological deception designed to mislead potential adversaries about human military capabilities. His analysis of human strategic doctrine reveals sophisticated understanding of psychological warfare principles that incorporate technological misdirection as fundamental military philosophy. According to Fletnor's assessment, humans deliberately maintain primitive-appearing weapons while achieving performance levels that exceed advanced energy systems. The deception theory gains credibility through examination of human military history, which includes numerous examples of forces achieving victory against technologically superior opponents through strategic misdirection and tactical surprise. Human commanders consistently exploited enemy assumptions about technological inferiority to gain decisive advantages in critical engagements. The pattern suggests systematic development of deception-based warfare principles. Commander Nexara's extended field observations documented human civilian activities that provide crucial insights into their kinetic weapon mastery. The recreational use of military-grade weapons by ordinary citizens reveals cultural integration of advanced combat capabilities throughout their entire population. Human children begin kinetic weapon training at ages when most species are still developing basic motor coordination skills. The cultural significance humans attribute to individual weapon proficiency creates societal conditions that maximize military effectiveness across their entire civilization. Unlike most galactic species that rely on technological solutions to reduce individual skill requirements, humans maintain cultural practices that continuously develop personal combat capabilities throughout their population. This approach creates military redundancy that ensures continued resistance capability even after significant infrastructure damage. Human manufacturing infrastructure supporting kinetic weapon production demonstrates industrial capacity that exceeds the combined military production of most galactic civilizations. The economic efficiency achieved through mass production techniques allows humans to maintain ammunition stockpiles that could sustain conflicts lasting decades without requiring additional resource allocation. The strategic implications of such production capacity suggest preparation for extended warfare against multiple opponents simultaneously. Quality assurance protocols employed throughout human weapon manufacturing reveal systematic attention to performance optimization that surpasses standards maintained for most scientific instruments. Chemical analysis of human propellants demonstrates precision in molecular composition that approaches theoretical maximum efficiency for chemical energy release. The consistency maintained across billions of manufactured units implies automated quality control systems of unprecedented sophistication. Ballistic testing conducted using captured human ammunition confirmed performance characteristics that exceed predictions based on conventional kinetic energy calculations. Human projectiles achieve terminal ballistics that suggest additional physical principles beyond standard kinetic impact theory. The penetration capabilities demonstrated against various target materials indicate optimization that transcends simple metal projectile limitations. The metallurgical composition of human projectiles reveals material science applications that challenge established understanding of alloy performance under extreme kinetic stress. Despite using relatively primitive materials like copper and lead, human manufacturing processes achieve projectile characteristics that exceed performance specifications for advanced synthetic materials. The techniques employed to optimize material properties remain incompletely understood despite extensive analysis. Human weapon reliability standards demonstrate durability characteristics that surpass performance requirements for most advanced energy systems. Documented cases of human weapons functioning effectively after exposure to extreme environmental conditions, physical damage, and extended use without maintenance exceed reliability expectations for sophisticated technological equipment. The engineering principles that achieve such durability through apparently primitive construction methods continue to challenge conventional understanding. The tactical doctrines humans developed around kinetic warfare demonstrate strategic thinking that maximizes primitive technology advantages while minimizing apparent limitations. Human military manuals reveal combat philosophies that exploit energy weapon vulnerabilities through superior mobility, concealment, and rapid engagement techniques. The systematic approach to anti-energy weapon tactics suggests deliberate preparation for conflicts against technologically superior opponents. Training methodologies employed by human military forces create individual combat proficiency that exceeds capabilities maintained by most professional military organizations throughout civilized space. The decentralized educational approach ensures that weapon expertise exists throughout their population rather than being concentrated within specialized military units. This distribution of capability creates strategic resilience that most civilizations achieve only through technological redundancy. Human logistics systems supporting kinetic weapon operations demonstrate organizational efficiency that rivals the most advanced military supply networks. The ability to maintain ammunition distribution across vast distances under adverse conditions exceeds logistical capabilities that most civilizations achieve through automated systems and advanced transportation technology. Human supply chain resilience suggests preparation for sustained operations under conditions that would disable most technological support systems. The psychological impact of human kinetic weapons on opposing forces provides strategic advantages that complement their tactical capabilities. Species that encounter human military forces consistently report demoralization resulting from the unexpected lethality of apparently primitive weapons. The psychological effect of technological underestimation creates combat advantages that human tactical doctrine systematically exploits. Intelligence analysis of human counter-surveillance capabilities reveals security methodologies that successfully detect and neutralize infiltration attempts conducted using advanced technology. Human security protocols, based on simple but systematic procedures, demonstrate effectiveness against sophisticated surveillance techniques that most civilizations cannot counter. The low-technology approach to security avoids detection by advanced systems while maintaining operational effectiveness. Economic intelligence regarding human industrial capacity indicates manufacturing capability that could support military operations on galactic scales. The resource efficiency achieved through human production techniques allows weapon manufacturing that exceeds economic limitations that constrain most civilizations. Human industrial organization suggests economic preparation for conflicts requiring resource allocation beyond normal military budgeting constraints. Research attempts to replicate human kinetic weapon performance using advanced materials and manufacturing techniques have consistently failed to match human results. Despite access to superior metallurgy, precision fabrication equipment, and theoretical knowledge, reproductions produced by advanced civilizations underperform compared to genuine human ammunition. The failure to improve upon human designs using superior technology indicates fundamental limitations in current galactic understanding. The modular design principles incorporated throughout human weapon systems facilitate continuous performance improvement and battlefield adaptability that energy weapon systems cannot match. Human weapons employ standardized interfaces and interchangeable components that allow rapid modification for specific tactical requirements. The systematic modularity demonstrates engineering sophistication that contradicts surface assessments of technological primitiveness. Cultural anthropological analysis reveals that human military effectiveness derives from societal characteristics that most galactic civilizations abandon during technological advancement phases. Human maintenance of individual combat capability, personal weapon ownership, and decentralized military training creates cultural conditions that optimize kinetic weapon effectiveness across entire populations. Most advanced species eliminated such practices in favor of technological solutions that reduced individual skill requirements. The strategic implications of human military capabilities require fundamental revision of established galactic power structures and diplomatic protocols. The effectiveness demonstrated by human kinetic warfare principles challenges military superiority that advanced civilizations have maintained through technological advancement. The possibility that primitive technology, properly optimized, could exceed advanced energy weapon performance demands immediate strategic recalculation. Deeper analysis of human ammunition varieties revealed specialization levels that exceed military requirements of most galactic civilizations. Humans manufacture projectiles optimized for specific tactical scenarios including armor penetration, anti-personnel effectiveness, barrier destruction, and incendiary applications. The diversity of specialized ammunition types suggests comprehensive understanding of kinetic warfare applications that most species never develop. The precision manufacturing required for specialized projectile variants demonstrates industrial capabilities that rival advanced civilizations despite relying on primitive materials and techniques. Human ability to mass-produce dozens of ammunition types while maintaining consistent performance characteristics across all variants indicates manufacturing sophistication that exceeds surface technological assessments. Human weapon maintenance protocols reveal systematic approaches to equipment preservation that ensure continued functionality under conditions that would disable most advanced systems. The maintenance procedures, while appearing primitive, achieve reliability standards that exceed requirements for sophisticated energy weapons. The durability achieved through simple but systematic care procedures suggests engineering design specifically optimized for minimal maintenance requirements. Training documentation obtained through intelligence operations revealed human military education systems that create individual combat proficiency exceeding capabilities of most professional military forces. The comprehensive nature of human weapon training ensures that individual soldiers possess technical knowledge and practical skills that most civilizations concentrate within specialized technical personnel. The decentralized nature of human military training creates strategic redundancy that ensures continued combat capability even after significant personnel losses. Unlike most galactic civilizations that rely on centralized training facilities and specialized instructors, humans distribute weapon expertise throughout their population through multiple educational pathways, including military academies, civilian training programs, and informal knowledge transfer systems. Human tactical flexibility demonstrated during observed training exercises reveals adaptive capabilities that exceed most professional military organizations. The ability to modify tactics, adjust weapon configurations, and adapt to changing battlefield conditions using primitive equipment suggests strategic thinking that maximizes available resources while minimizing technological dependencies. The economic sustainability of human military systems provides strategic advantages that most advanced civilizations cannot match. While energy weapons require complex industrial infrastructure and specialized materials, human kinetic systems operate using readily available resources that can be produced using relatively simple manufacturing techniques. This economic efficiency allows sustained military operations that would bankrupt most civilizations, relying on advanced technology. Intelligence regarding human industrial mobilization capabilities suggests manufacturing potential that could support military production on unprecedented scales. The existing civilian industrial infrastructure could be rapidly converted to military production, creating ammunition manufacturing capacity that exceeds the combined military production of multiple galactic civilizations simultaneously. Footnote 4. The academic dispute between Dr. Kelthorne and Professor Veltrix has escalated beyond scholarly disagreement into fundamental philosophical conflict regarding the nature of technological advancement. Kelthorne's insistence that human capabilities represent conscious engineering sophistication directly contradicts Veltrix's evolutionary optimization theory. Dr. Fletnor's deception hypothesis adds additional complexity by suggesting that human primitiveness itself constitutes advanced strategic thinking. The three-way academic conflict has required intervention by the Supreme Academic Council, which has demanded independent verification of all competing theories through direct experimentation with human subjects. The ethical implications of such experimentation have created additional controversy within the scientific community. The final strategic assessment concludes that human kinetic weapons represent revolutionary military technology that transcends conventional understanding of warfare principles. Whether achieved through evolutionary optimization, conscious engineering sophistication, or strategic deception, human capabilities demand immediate diplomatic engagement to establish peaceful relations before potential conflicts could destabilize galactic civilization. The recommendation of the Galactic Supreme Command calls for immediate establishment of formal diplomatic relations with human civilization, offering technological exchange agreements and mutual defense treaties that acknowledge human military capabilities as equivalent to the most advanced galactic civilizations. The strategic necessity of preventing conflicts with beings capable of kinetic warfare mastery requires diplomatic approaches that recognize human military potential rather than attempting to exploit apparent technological inferiority. The comprehensive analysis establishes that human kinetic weapons achieve performance levels that exceed most advanced energy systems through optimization principles that current galactic science cannot adequately explain. The implications for military doctrine, technological development, and strategic planning require fundamental revision of assumptions about warfare, technology, and civilization advancement that have guided galactic policy for millennia. Emergency protocols have been established for immediate implementation upon any indication of human military mobilization or expansion beyond their home system. The potential consequences of conflicts involving beings who have mastered kinetic warfare to unprecedented levels necessitate diplomatic solutions that acknowledge human capabilities while maintaining galactic stability through peaceful coexistence rather than military confrontation. The final conclusion of this comprehensive assessment recognizes that human military technology, regardless of its evolutionary or engineering origins, represents capabilities that demand respect, caution, and diplomatic engagement from the highest levels of galactic civilization. The strategic wisdom of avoiding conflicts with species that have achieved such kinetic weapon mastery outweighs any potential advantages that might result from technological superiority in other military domains. The human species, through their mastery of kinetic warfare principles, has demonstrated that effective military capability can emerge from unexpected technological approaches that challenge conventional understanding of advancement and sophistication. The implications of this recognition extend beyond immediate military concerns to fundamental questions about technology, civilization, and the assumptions that guide interspecies relations throughout the galaxy. The implementation of emergency diplomatic protocols begins immediately, with the primary objective of establishing peaceful relations that acknowledge human military capabilities while preventing potential conflicts that could destabilize established galactic order through the introduction of kinetic warfare principles that most civilizations are unprepared to counter effectively. As the final emergency session of the Galactic Supreme Command concluded with unanimous approval of immediate diplomatic overtures to prevent potential human military expansion, the monitoring station's long-range sensors detected an unusual transmission from the human homeworld. The message, broadcast on primitive radio frequencies, contained what appeared to be a casual conversation between two human military personnel. Sergeant Ethan Walsh's voice crackled through the communication array. "Hey, Danny, you hear about the new ammunition shortage? Apparently there's a supply chain issue with the copper suppliers." Private Danny Foster responded with apparent unconcern. "Yeah, I heard. Guess we'll have to make do with the steel core stuff until they sort it out. Not like we're planning any major operations anyway."